next we start with JVM. The JVM is called as the Java virtual machine, or it is called as the engine of your Java programming language. So all major components like class loader, execution engine, just-in-time compiler, all the thing is present in the JVM. So it is just called as engine of your Java. All rules and regulation in the Java is defined by the JVM. So in JVM, it contains the three parts. One is your class loader, another is your execution engine, next is your just-in-time compiler. So three things the JVM is having. So class loader means what? Suppose in C program, if you mention stdio, then your printf and scanf is automatically loaded. Suppose your work is what? For display the data, but as you are written stdio, then automatically your scanf is loaded. But scanf requirement is not there, but as you are written stdio, scanf is loaded. So which make the program length as a lengthy. Suppose for display data in a screen, we write the program in a C programming language and C++. If the program size is 5 KB, after executing your C program and Java application, the 5 KB is converted to the 20 KB in the case of C program, but in the Java it is only 10 KB, because Java is not loaded the unnecessary class or function which is not required. So it is only loaded the particular class which is required at runtime. So that is the work of your class loader. And as you know, your Java programming language is converted to the machine language in the two format. First, you compile the Java application. When you compile the Java application, it is converted to the bytecode. Then by using of JIT compiler, the bytecode is converted to the machine code. So all the process of compilation, it is happened by using of Java or by using of your execution engine. Then just-in-time compiler. So what is the work of just-in-time compiler? Just-in-time compiler is used to converting the bytecode to the machine code. For converting the bytecode to the machine code, we are using the JIT compiler. So all the things are present in the JVM, so that the JVM is called as the engine of your Java application.
सर ये जो एग्जीक्यूशन इंजिन और जस्ट इन टाइम कंपाइलर डिफरेंस कोन होला ताले?
एग्जीक्यूशन इंजिन रो टोटल काम होजी कोन ना तुम्हारा जावा फाइल को बाइट कोड रे कन्वर्ट करिवो 0 एंड 1 फॉर्मेट रे कन्वर्ट करिवो तापर से कोन करिवो ना 0 एंड 1 फॉर्मेट पुनी कन्वर्ट करिवो मशीन कोड बुझिला। हां
ଆଉ JIT compiler ଟା ଖାଲି बाइट कोड टाको मशीन कोड को कन्वर्ट कर दो। हेलो
हां को
मु कहली कि एग्जीक्यूशन इंजन टा जावा फाइल टाको कन्वर्ट करिवो जावा कंपाइलर थ्रू नहीं कि बाइट कोड को तापरे मशीन कोड को।
हां माने एग्जीक्यूशन इंजन टोटली प्रोसेस हो एग्जीक्यूशन प्रोसेस टा टोटली हो और JIT
हाँ
कंपाइलर काम तमर बाइट कोड को मशीन कोड रे कन्वर्ट करिवो।
अच्छा
बुझिया
तर तो JIT कंपाइलर हाँ बुझली जे किंतु JIT कंपाइलर बिना भी तो बाइट कोड टा मशीन कोड को कन्वर्ट होची।
ना ना केमती हो एठी हमें जावा इंटरप्रेटर यूज करछे ना एटा
हाँ
तम JIT कंपाइलर भीतर अछि जस्ट इन टाइम कंपाइलर केना हमें जते बारे
अच्छा अच्छा
जावा फाइल टा हमें जते एग्जीक्यूशन करूचे
हाँ
चलिए फास्ट हमें जावा फाइल टा विथ द एक्सटेंशन ऑफ .java रे हमें स्टोर करबा तापरे बाय यूजिंग ऑफ जावा कंपाइलर से कौन करिवो जावा फाइल को डॉट क्लास फाइल कन्वर्ट करिवो डॉट क्लास फाइल इज इट इज नथिंग बट इट इज ए 0 and 1 फॉर्मेट तो बाय यूजिंग ऑफ JVM एटा 0 and 1 फॉर्मेट का बना विंडो फॉर्मेट रे शो करिवो यूनिक्स रे यूनिक्स फॉर्मेट रे शो करिवो मासेंटोक रे मासेंटोक फॉर्मेट रे शो करिवो बुझला।
अच्छा आज्ञा
तो एटा होची माने JVM रो हमरो काम माने बाइट कोड को मशीन कोड रे कन्वर्ट करिवो ए जो बाइट कोड को मशीन कोड रे जतरा कन्वर्ट होची ए जगह रे हमरो जस्ट इन टाइम कंपाइलर यूज होबो।
अच्छा
बुझला
आज्ञा
then Java application programming interface or Java API. So Java API is a collection of software that provide the capabilities such as GUI application. The related class and interface of the Java API are grouped into the packages. है तो हमें जो जावा एप्लीकेशन है जो ग्राफिक यूजर इंटरफेस डिजाइन करिवा से जो इंटरफेस डिजाइन करिया पई जहां भी टूल्स और कंपोनेंट दरकार बाय यूजिंग ऑफ JVM हमें बाय यूजिंग ऑफ जावा API से टूल्स और कंपोनेंट्स सब प्रोवाइड करियो तो ता थ्रू रे हमें कोन करिवा ना ग्राफिक यूजर इंटरफेस डिजाइन करबा तो तार जो रिलेटेड क्लास अछि पैकेज अछि जो तार जो रिलेटेड क्लास और इंटरफेस अछि सेटा गोटे पैकेज रे स्टोर होबो पैकेज मींस इट इज कॉल्ड द मॉड्यूल्स गोटे मॉड्यूल रे मोर देके स्टोर होबो बुझला। यस
हाँ सर बुझली
मधु मनोरंजन
आज्ञा
सर
सर
मु टिके लेट रे आछले बुझी पाइल नै सर प्लीज रिपीट अगेन।
हम एटा कहूजी जावा API टा कोन पई यूज करा जाए ना हमर जो ग्राफिक यूजर इंटरफेस डिजाइन करिया पई जहां भी टूल्स और कंपोनेंट दरकार बुझी होची हमें कोन से चीज डिजाइन करबा तर घर बनिया पई हमको दरकार कोन बना जस्ट कोडी कोदा ए सब को सीमेंट हमें यूज करछे तो एटा भी सेमती रहिबो जेमती हमें कोनोसी जावा यूजर इंटरफेस और जावा ग्राफिक यूजर इंटरफेस डिजाइन करिया पई जहां भी मोर टूल्स और कंपोनेंट दरकार हबो एटा जावा API मते प्रोवाइड करिवो बुझला।
आज्ञा सर
Java architecture security. Java architecture security consists of the following feature. One is compiler level security, bytecode verifier, class loader, another is sandbox model. तो ये चारि प्रकार मोर कोन रहइबो ना सिक्योरिटी लेवल रहइबो। The compiler level security. Compiler level security रा काम कोन हबो ना Java prevent error that arise due to the improper memory uses, reducing the compile time error. माने कोन हला ना हमें जदी गोटे integer variable define करिवा suppose we are defining a integer variable and we are passing c equals to a by b और ए रे मु पास करिवे 10 बी रे पास करिवे 2 तो 10/2 कले मते देखैबो 5 so it will show the result जेतले मु 10/3 यूज करिवे so it is giving you the fractional value মানে 3.33 value मते मोर रिजल्ट आछो किंतु एठी 0.33 value का मते शो करिवो as because we are defining what now we are defining integer value मु जेतो int value डाटा टाइप डिफाइन करिछि मोर फ्रैक्शनल वैल्यू टा स्टोर होबो तो जावा रे गोटे फंक्शनलिटी अछि हमें रन टाइम रे कोन करिवा ना गोटे डाटा टाइप को आ गोटे डाटा टाइप रे हमें कन्वर्ट करि परिबा तापरे होछि मोर बाइट कोड वेरिफायर it ensure that the bytecode doesn't violate access restriction such as read and write operation अर्थ होछि कोन ना हमें जते बेले जावा फाइल को कंपाइल करूचे इट इज कन्वर्टेड टू द बाइट कोड 0 और 1 फॉर्मेट रे एटा कन्वर्ट करिवो जते बेले से 0 एंड 1 फॉर्मेट रे कन्वर्ट करूची सेते बेले जे 0 एंड 1 फॉर्मेट जो डॉट क्लास फाइल ता अछि ताको जे मॉडिफिकेशन करबा को चाहूची तले मोर आउटपुट रे कोनसी हैम्पर होबनी मते सेम रिजल्ट शो करिवो आ जदी तुमरा के सोर्स कोड के डिलीट कर दोची so anybody is deleting your source code so it doesn't matter so you are getting the same output माने हमें same output पाइबा जदी हम पाखरे source code अछि हमें result पाई परिबा आ जदी मोर source code के delete कर दोची मो डॉट क्लास फाइल को देकी सब वाडे रन करि परिबा बुझियला
हां सर
it also at runtime माने byte code verifier ensure that means eta कर type casting arise improper due to reducing the compile time error type casting in java ensure that there is no data loss means at runtime you can convert one value to the another value byte code verifier रे हमें जंत कहले जे हमर डॉट क्लास फाइल टाको केही भी मॉडिफिकेशन करि परिबे तो byte code is verified into the two phases byte code माने after compilation your source code is converted to the byte code that is 0 and 1 form so it is verified in the two phase in the first phase the verifier checks the structure of the dot class file means according to the jvm specification my program is written correctly or not it will check in the first phase जेंति कि हमर जावा रे जहा भी जावा रे गोटे डिक्शनरी रहिछि से डिक्शनरी रे कोन रहइबो हमें केमती प्रोग्राम रखिबा हमर सिंटैक्स ता कोन रहइबो सेरा डिफाइन होबो by using of byte code sorry that define hoba by using of java jvm eta decide karibo amara program ta केमती लिखिबा जेंति कि इंग्लिश रे गोटे ग्रामर रहउची हिंदी रे गोटे ग्रामर रहउची तो सेई जो ग्रामेटिकल जो जिंस गुडा रहउची जेंति कि हमर प्रोग्राम जेंति हमर नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज रे यूज होची प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज रे भी हमें ताको यूज करि परिबा माने प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज रे भी सब प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज रा सेमती ग्रामर रहउची से ग्रामर ताको कोआ जीवो syntax of the program the first phase re kon huए na the verifier checks the structure of the dot class file माने मोर प्रोग्राम रो स्ट्रक्चर ठीक अछि कि नै एठी चेक आउट second level phase occur when the byte code is run the byte code verifier checks the validity of the classes माने क्लास ता हमें कोठी यूज करि परिबा वेरिएबल जो मेमोरी एलोकेशन पे जो वैल्यू ता हमें डिफाइन करिबा सेटा कोठी यूज करि परिबा जो भी मेथड हमें यूज करिबा ओप्स कांसेप्ट हमें मेथड पढ़थिले so that method is used where so that kind of thing you define or it is check in the second level phase माने मो क्लास ता कोठी यूज होबो मोर वेरिएबल ता कोठी यूज होबो आ मोर मेथड ता कोठी यूज होबो एटा सेकंड लेवल फेज रे चेक होबो बुझला
हां
यस सर
ओलिवा बुझी होची Oliver. Next is class loader. The class loader determines how and when the applet will use the classes in a running Java environment. In a Java environment, there can be many class loaders. Each class loader can create its own runtime environment. जेमते कि हमें सी प्रोग्राम रे हमें यूज करथले math.h तो हमें कहू थले math.h यूज कले हमें मैथमेटिकल फंक्शन सेठी काम करि पारिबो तो सेमती कौन हुए ना जावा रे जदि आमे कोनोसी फंक्शनलिटी यूज करबा गोटे एनवायरनमेंट रे काम करिया चाहूचे जदि फाइल एनवायरनमेंट रे काम करिया चाहूचे डेटाबेस कनेक्टिविटी करबा चाहूचे ता पई हमको पैकेज डिफाइन करबा को पड़िबो सेटा होची हमर कोन ना क्लास लोडर माने हमको जोटा दरकार जो क्लास ता दरकार एट रन टाइम हमें सेही क्लास ता को केवल कॉल करिया अन्य अननेसेसरी क्लासेस हमें कॉल करिवा ने सो दैट जावा इज अ व्हाट is a faster and it is a lightweight. You can say it is a lightweight than the other program. If you compare to the other programming language like C and C++, it's just a lightweight. As because it is only loaded the particular class which is required at runtime. हमें जो environment को call करिवा से runtime environment हम पे create है. इधर class loader काम. Next होची sandbox model. The sandbox model is implemented in the Java applet container such as the web browser. The sandbox model determines the limitation of Java applet that they can only access the resource on the host computer, cannot access the file on the remote or local computer. The sandbox model ने कमर होची कोन ना मु जदि Java browser रे कोन से application मु यूज करिवि तो मु केवल गोटे क्लाइंट को आ गोटे क्लाइंट से तो मु कनेक्टेड करि पारि किंतु जदि मु गोटे क्लाइंट को सर्वर कनेक्टेड करबा चाहूची मते एरर शो करिवो तो आमे एरर शो करिवो आमे कनेक्ट ही करि पारनु सैंडबॉक्स मॉडल करू केवल आमे कोन करथले ना सर्वर से क्लाइंट माने सर्वर से कनेक्टेड रहउथले सर्वर रो से माने डाटा एक्सेस करि पारथले but when the client is trying to connect or trying to access the data from another client it is not happening. So by using of sandbox model you can get the data from the from your client or you can get the data from the server. Means every nodes are connected to each other and you can share the data between the server and client. Clear? Yes, Manoranjan.
Again.
Yes sir.
Liva.
Yes, sir.
Next is garbage collection. Garbage collection is the process that is used to free the memory of the object. Okay, so it is used to free the memory of the object that are no longer in use. When the program stops referencing an object, it is not required anymore. That can be deleted. माने कहाँ हम when you are storing a value, suppose I am adding a value and getting a result. For adding a value and getting a result, how many variables is required? Data number add करिए और result show करिए. So how many variables is required? Anyone?
Tenta.
So 3 variables is required. So you require the 3 variable. So after storing a value and getting your result, then there is no work of that memory. So you have to free that memory for the other purposes. So in that part, we are using garbage collection. So garbage collection is the process that is used to free the memory of the object that are no longer in use. So it is.
Sir, garbage collection. Sir, माने कौन catch collection करे जो गुड़ा का, cookies जो गुड़ा का.
No. हमें जब क्लास रो ऑब्जेक्ट बनेवा सेते बेले कोन हुए it is allocating a memory, okay, for the variable. Okay, so in a object oriented concept, when you are creating a object, that means it is allocated the memory. So it is allocated the memory. When it is allocated to memory and you are getting a result, then there is no requirement of keeping that memory. हमको से memory टा को keep करिवा दरकार नहीं. तो हमें ताको कौन करिवा ना से memory टा को free करिवा. बुझियो छी से memory टा को free करिवा को हेले हमें garbage collection यूज करिवा. तो आगुरु हमें जो सी प्रोग्रामिंग रे कोन होतला हमको मैनुअली करिवा को पड़तला किंतु एटा होची कोन ना ऑटोमेटिकली रन होबा. garbage collection is automatically run in a Java programming language. Okay, so it is release the space which is not required anymore and it is allocating a new memory for for the new value. जो value मोर दरकार नहीं ताको से रिलीज कर दबो से मेमोरी टाको आ जो नुवा value अछि
आज्ञा
ता पई से मेमोरी का allocate करियो बुझेला.
आज्ञा सर
Garbage collection feature implies that the new objects are created and all the unreferenced objects are deallocated the memory. So it is creating a memory for the new object and it is deallocated from the object that is not required. The different approaches used to detecting the garbage collection are: one is a reference counting collector, tracing collector, another is compacting collector. So three things we're using: referencing counting collector, tracing collector, and compacting collector. These are the three approaches we're using for the garbage collection. Okay. Now using the various data type. So when you define a variable means what? It is a memory where you have to store the value. So when you define a memory, then you have to define the data type. Okay. Suppose you when you want to purchase the potato, then you cannot take a bottle, water bottle. You cannot put the potato. For taking the potato, we require a bag, and for taking the petrol, then you cannot take the petrol in your carry bag. So you require a closed container, that is your bottle. So for storing a particular item, you require the particular container. The similar way in Java, for storing a value in a variable, first of all you have to define a data type. So data type is saying that it defines the type of data that you have to store in a variable. ମୁଁ को टाइप रो वैल्यू टा स्टोर करबी वेरिएबल रे सेटा मु एटी डिफाइन करबी डाटा टाइप बुझियला.
Yes sir.
So Java is a strictly typed language. That means Java gives the importance for the type checking. So there are three types of data is present in the Java. One is primitive data type, which is predefined already, that is defined by the JVM. One is reference data type, another is abstract data type. So let's discuss one by one. The primitive data type is called as the built-in data type in the Java is called as the primitive data type, means which is predefined. So there are 8 primitive data types are present in Java, which is further categorized into the 4 groups. One is your integer type, floating point type, Boolean type, next is character type. So 4 group we have to pass. Your primitive data type is divided into the 4 groups. One is integer, which is store the numeric value. Floating point can store the fractional value. Boolean type, it contains the true and false value. Character type can store the symbol such as letter and numbers. Now you can check this table. For the integer, we are defining here. In the integer, there is 4 data types are present. Remember this one. It is very important, this part. Before going to the program, you have to remember this part. Okay. For integer, it is we have the byte, short, int, and long. The byte is the smallest unit for an integer. Then after that short, then after that int, then after that long. The size of the byte is 1 byte, means you can store only one value. Okay. Short is 2 byte, int is 4 byte, long is 8 byte, and default value for all integer is 0. Default value means what? When you are defining a variable, you have to assign a value. So if you are not assigning a value to a variable, so default value is 0. Similar way, for floating point, you can store 0.0 and 0.0. It is a fractional value. And for Boolean type, size is 1 byte, 1 bit, default value is false. Boolean it contain a true and false value. Either it is showing you true or false. For character, it contain a 2 byte. If you not store any kind of value, then your default value is null. ଯଦି ମୁଁ କୌଣସି value store କରୁନି ତାହେଲେ ମୋ default value null ରହିବ. ବୁଝିହେଲା?
Yes sir.
Any doubt? ମଧୁ, ମନୋରଞ୍ଜନ?
ସାର୍ ମତେ ଟିକେ ଆଉଥରେ କହିବେ।
ଏଇଟା ହଉଛି ଆମର data types. In Java, these are called as the data types. Okay. So these are the data types
Yes, sir.
is used for storing a value. Okay.
ମାନେ variable ଯୋଉଗୁଡାକ ନା
କଣ କହିଲ?
ନାଇଁ sir କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
So these are the data types. So here we are using the data types for storing a value for integer. Integer ର ଚାରିଟା data type ରହିବ। ଗୋଟେ ହଉଛି byte ରହିବ। byte ଟା ହଉଛି ସବୁଠାରୁ smallest unit for integer. ତାପରେ short ରହିବ, ତାପରେ int ରହିବ, ତାପରେ long ରହିବ, ତାପରେ float data type ରହିବ। So for integer ପାଇଁ default value ହଉଛି 0. ବୁଝି ହଉଛି? default value means ଯଦି ମୁଁ କୌଣସି value store ନ କରିବି, କୌଣସି value ମୁଁ variable ରେ store ନ କରିବି, ତାହେଲେ କୋଉ value ଟା initialize ହବ? So for integer it store the 0. ବୁଝିହେଲା? ମନୋରଞ୍ଜନ? Then for floating point we store 0.0. For floating point we store float and double. Float value जोटा कि हमें fractional value store करियो, decimal value store करियो. तापर रहइबो float and double. Size is 4 byte and 8 byte. Default value for float is 0.0 and 0.0. एटा होची तार default value. सेमती boolean value कोन करिवो ना हमर conditional statement contain करिवो, जेंति कि true false yes or no एटा contain करिवो boolean data. Then character data type से store करिवो char. Character data type होची char. Size होची 2 byte. हमें जदि कोनोसी value न दबा default value होची null. ये default value store होबो null. Clear?
Yes sir.
Next is reference data type. Reference data type doesn't contain the value of its own. से तार निजर कोनोसी value रखिबोनी. It contain the address where your value is stored. मो value टा कोठी store अछि सी ताको refer करिवो. आरो निजर कोनोसी data type रहिबोनी. It contain the reference or address of the dynamically created object. It is also known as the non-primitive data type. The default value of the variable is null. Example कौन रहिबा आरो ना object, another is array. गोटे रहिबा object और another होची array. So it होची reference data type. It doesn't contain the value of its own. It contain the address where your value is stored. मो value टा कोठी store अछि से तार address टा रखिबो आरो तार निजर कोनोसी value रहिबोनी. एटा होची reference data type. So array रे जेमते हम store करते reference होतले 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index. So reference type is also like that. Then abstract data type. Abstract data type, it includes the data type derived from the primitive data type and have more functionality than the primitive data type. हम गोटे example नबा abstract data type काहू कहबा धर मु suppose I am defining char na. Suppose I am defining 5, size is 5. So here I store hello. So 5 character I have stored. So here if I want to store another value, so I cannot store, as because I am giving a character store the fixed set of value. 5 means it will store the 5 value. And
सर
here
लोकेशन 5 करता है
कौन बोला
लोकेशन से 5टा ही काउंट करके नबो नले एरर शो करियो
लोकेशन टी आर किसी काम नहीं, एटा होची हमर कोन होची हमर साइज एटी डिफाइन करे ना
नंबर ऑफ स्ट्रिंग्स जोड़ा था
कौन बोला
तो जो नंबर ऑफ स्ट्रिंग्स जोड़ा काउंट होगा
तो एठी देखो एठी मु कोन को यूज करबी सपोज मु आउ किछि वैल्यू एठी स्टोर करबा चाहूची एठी से स्टोर होबो नै एबे मु कोन करबी एठी जदि मु कैरेक्टर na I define here 5 but I store here a b c, then the remaining 2 space it is occupied by the Java, it is occupied in the memory, it is not free. Okay, so for that reason your memory is what, your memory is lost. So in that cases we are using the string data type. I mean, it is string data type used to string na. So here as much as character you can store, no hello so store kari paribe, any character you can store. So here you don't give, or here there is no requirement to give any kind of size. Clear?
yes sir
Manoranjan, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Aliva,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
बुझे होची तो?
Yes, sir.
Next we are defining, it is a work of your string data type. So always go for the string data type where there is no requirement to giving a size. So as much as character you can store by using a string data type. It is called as the abstract data type. Keywords available in Java. The keywords are the reserved word for a language which express the language feature. The keyword cannot be used to name a variable, constant or classes. So Java is a case sensitive language and keywords should be written in lower cases only. The keyword with all or some letter in the uppercase can be treated as a variable name, but that should be avoided. Okay, so keywords should be avoided. So whenever you want to give a name in Java, like if you want to give a name to a variable, name to a function, don't give the name which is similar to a Java keywords. So what are the keywords are available? So these are the list of keywords are available. When you go through the courses, you are know all the keywords that is present: abstract, case, constant, double, finally, if, int, new, public. So here these are the different keywords are available. So these are the keywords. Basically, it is a reserved word. So when you want to give any kind of name to a variable, so you cannot give it. You have to just leave it and don't give the keyword name for any kind of Java identifier, variable and function name. Next comes to the variable. Variable is what? Now it refers to a memory location where some data value are stored. So when you pass any kind of value, for storing that value, we have to define a memory. So variable is the name that refers to a memory location where you have to store a value. You can assign the different value to a variable during the program execution. As it is a variable, its value is vary. again and again. Suppose you are giving, you are writing a program to add two numbers. You are suppose you give 10 and 20, and it is giving you result 30. When I give the input, maybe I give 5 and 10, so it is giving you giving me as a 15. The variable value changes throughout the program execution. So Java allocate the memory to each variable that you use in your program. Each variable that is used in a program, first you have to declare it. First you have to declare, then you have to store the value. Any doubt in the variable?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So when you give a variable name, you have to follow some kind of naming convention. हमें variable name टा केमती दवा. The name of the variable needs to be meaningful. So avoid to give a name as X, Y, Z. Suppose you want to store a age of a person, so give the variable name as age. If you want to store the name of a person, then give the variable as name. So it should be meaningful. A variable name must be unique in a program. Don't give the duplicate name. A variable name must be begin with a letter or underscore if you require a symbol. Don't give any additional symbol like dollar. Uh, don't give like don't give like star. Okay. Don't give any bracket. Okay. So you can start the variable name with a symbol that is a underscore or dollar symbol. Variable name should not start with a digit. Variable name should not start with a digit. Variable name should not contain any embedded white space. That means, suppose if you want to define a variable that is student name, so don't give a space. So if you require a space, you have to use a underscore. So space is not applicable while defining a variable. Don't give the number while you are defining a variable. Don't give any kind of extra symbol like this one. So these are not permissible. If you want to give a variable name with a symbol, then underscore is permissible or dollar is permissible. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And variable name in the Java is a case sensitive. That means what? Suppose if you define a variable as small score, so when you want to store a value, so if you write score equals to 15, 16, it is invalid. As because you are defining a variable as small s. So here you have to give as a small a score. Okay.
Again, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is your variable naming convention. Okay. That is all about your Java basic feature. In the next class, I start with the Java starting programming. How to write a Java program. In the next class, I have to discuss. Okay. Tomorrow we'll start with the Java programming, Java program. Okay. How to write the program and what are the features are there. So we start with it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.